Oh boy. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of Brunch with Egnards. Um, I actually think when I get done here, we are going to go see a movie today because we always do. But I think it's going to be a pancake breakfast kind of day. It is my last day before school starts. No kids in the morning, meetings all day tomorrow. I have to lead workshops all day Wednesday. Kids finally on Thursday. And the only thing I have to look forward to in all of that is NFL kickoff and the Broncos kicking ass on Sunday. We do have quite a bit today. It's strange. My roster review line, what tends to happen is I'll have like two or three, two or three, two or three. And then for some reason, like 10 people will all post roster reviews at the exact same time. And I know that other creators, their backlog is larger than mine. And I know that some people are used to time. It takes more than a week. So I know that if I don't do this stream today when I can, between school and between the street fair that's going to be coming up in a few weeks, so I'll have to skip a Sunday. I don't want people to be left in the dirt in that way. I have to look forward to this Hell Week. You know what? First of all, good morning to everybody. But Adis, I got to tell you, man, I'm super pumped just because the first day of Hell Week starts on a holiday. Because tomorrow I'm gonna have no time. I will have zero time. Wednesday I'm gonna have less than zero time. So the fact that the worst day of Hell Week is today, I'm actually really, really, really happy about. Um, I know that for our guild, we don't have to really do anything with TB today. It's really just deploy and do the Kira special mission. But this is the toughest day of Conquest. This is the day where you really have to put in effort. And I'll have the time to do that. So I'm excited that I won't have to worry about that tomorrow. Especially with it because it starts midday, right? I hate that Conquest starts midday because I normally do my Conquest at like 5 in the morning. And then at night, I'll finish up whatever battles accumulated throughout the day. So Monday always sucks for me when at 2 p.m. I'm sitting in a class and I want to try to get like 2 or 3 battles done just so that my energy starts reaccumulating and I have to like sneak away to the bathroom. So it is nice, at least that it's today. What else do we have going on in chat? Labor of Love, Labor Day. And look at that. I'm doing labor on Labor Day, but it's nice to have a day off from the dojo. And my wife and I are going to see that Miles Teller movie. I don't remember what it's called, but it looks interesting. It looks fun. Yeah, Daniel, we're on the same page there. Womprat, I know. My man, good morning. Afternoon for you. What is it? It's 7. So 10. It's probably like 13. So like 1 p.m. for you. Important cultural question. Since the tradition is no white after Labor Day and every day that isn't Labor Day is technically after Labor Day, does this mean you can only wear white today? You know what's funny, Xander? I've always thought that about everything. I wanna give you another one though. I don't have an answer for you, but think about this because I say this to kids all the time. You know, kids are really annoying, and which I say to them all the time, but they're always like, "Oh, well, it's opposite day." So hear me out. Opposite day can't exist, right? Because if opposite day doesn't exist, then when you say it's opposite day, you're lying. But if opposite day does exist, when you say it's opposite day, you're actually saying it's not opposite day. So to me, that's kind of in the same vein. Think about it. Final Destination. I liked Final Destination Bloodlines. It was pretty decent. Transformers 1, I have no interest in personally. I've heard it was very good. I'm not an animated Transformers person. It never resonated with me as a kid. Um, I did like it was on. I know about the movies. I grew up with them, but it was never a big thing in my house. So I skipped Transformers 1, and I think the trailer did it a disservice because the trailer made it look really, really shitty. And I know a lot of fans of the movie said the same thing and said, like, the trailer looked really bad, but it was a really great movie. Um, is what it is either way. We have a lot to do today. I don't think I need to do anything in game. Let's just take a quick look. Think I finished everything this morning. Got to get my free energy. Vance, I see you there, man. Listen, go onto your freaking account and farm your stupid punishing one today, because I was on your account yesterday and it was very clear that you have not been farming it. It's been like a week since I've been on and you were at the same levels. So do me a solid and farm your shit. I don't have a 6-star vein. I had an interesting GAC yesterday. I know I was talking about it on Discord. I did really well at first. Did really well at first. Took out this Lord Vader because it was a super easy Lord Vader comp. Even Baekatan can take that out. I took out Rey with no problem, and I was feeling really, really great. And then I decided to do the JMK counter to SLKR and got destroyed, like completely destroyed. And I said to myself, all right, it's fine. I'm just going to use Bane. I'll throw Bane in there. I'll throw him in with Malik. They'll do it. It'll waste my Bane. Bane got completely slapped. And I figured that there was no way in hell that I was going to get a full clear. Like this is impossible. There's no way I'm going to get this full clear. So I went about, I did everything here. I did everything up here. I got kind of screwed on the executor here, but I was still managed to clear it. I came back to this. Don't tell Phil. Well, no, I already told Phil. I'm not going to lie to you. I came back to this SLKR. I threw in Wampacron. Wampacron did not win, but it took out DS Ray, which allowed me to clean up that SLKR with them all. I honestly thought that it would be impossible for me to get this full clear at that point. But somehow my Wampa, and I think it's because last time I lost with Wampa, I took it from R6 to R7, because as Ray hit him, and he had like the smallest sliver of health left, but managed to take out DS Ray and gave me the full clear. And I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know if they are going to full clear as well. I'm hoping they don't. I know a lot of my opponents have had a lot of trouble with this Leia team with the Vadercron, because the Vadercron is otherwise mostly useless. Most of my opponents have given up there. So we're going to see what happens. Change that to defenses to JMK Ezra. Man, Frank too. That's what it's kind of like what I was saying. I was saying to Dan yesterday. He was like, "Oh, just take SLKR off of defense and do the mirror match." No, like if my opponent's gonna be a piece of shit, I'm gonna be a piece of shit too. That's just how I see it, right? Like if you're gonna make it hard for me, I'm not gonna make it easy for you. Now, that said, I obviously didn't throw JMK on defense because I otherwise do not have an answer for SLKR that is semi-reliable. But it's the same principle. TV and Conquest starts tomorrow. It does not. It starts today. Happy Hell Week. Oh, Gia is she's a mensch. That's what she is. She's amazing. She really is. She's great at this game. She is awesome. All right, I got nothing left to do in game. I have lots of reviews that need to get done, right? So let's try to get those done. Let's pop on over to Discord. Let's set these things up. We have Asher, who's up first. Now, obviously, we all know we have a brand new tradition. We do have to play their roster review song. It is very, very, very important. So let's get that done.
Roster reviews. Egnards is having a break and taking a roster reviews. Talking to me that what pack sex should sell to you. Ooh, to you. To you.
I know, it's great, isn't it? It's just beautiful. Other content creators have fancy songs for their GACs. They have crazy intros for all these interesting different game modes, and I have a fun little roster review song. Frank 2, TTRPGs, tactical RPGs? Is that what that is? I don't know acronyms. TTRPGs. Tabletop. No, not really. I when I was younger, I played a little bit of Warhammer, but I don't want to say I'm too old because I know that the demographic is really it trends higher since you need a lot of money to play those games. I don't have the time. I don't have the patience for that kind of shit. There's a lot that goes into it. I had this one friend before we get into these reviews who was so obsessed with Warhammer, and like that's literally all he could talk about. Like all he could talk about. You would go up to him and at a party and he would just be like, Egnards, I got the new codex for the Space Wolves. And I'd be like, dude, I need you to calm down. Like I want to drink and meet women. So I love the Warhammer lore. I love the Warhammer games. I love Dawn of War. Dawn of War is amazing. But and some of the books, the Eisenhorn trilogies and the Ravenor trilogy, solid, but I can't. I just don't have the time. It's not even about the money; it's the time. And I tried to play D&D once, years and years ago. My buddy really wanted to try D&D. I think I've told this story before, and so we sat down to play D&D. And I wanted to play a Muppet character, which I know is not a race in D&D. And we went back and forth, and we argued about it. And eventually we agreed that I could play a Muppet as long as I couldn't speak English. I could only speak Muppetese. And the agreement was that that was fine with me as long as somewhere in the campaign Muppetese came up, as long as it was something that like would be a useful skill. So we shook hands. I got to make my Muppet character. I made a chaotic neutral Muppet cleric, and it was very interesting character creation time. But unfortunately, we were also playing with a friend who's kind of an asshole, and he rolled a rogue, and we got into town, and the first thing that he did is he tried to pickpocket a guard, and obviously it failed, and we all died, and that is my only experience with D&D. We've never tried to play it again after that. Do you know off time how many times you can refresh a fleet event for shards? I think I want to try and push for Leviathan. I think it's 19 times. It's either 19 or 20 times because you need to buy 5 of the 1250 packs. It'll stop allowing you to refresh the event after it's either 19 or 20, and then you have to buy the 1200, the 1250 crystal packs. All right, well, we have our actual reviews to do, and is your friend was like Phil and Wampa? Yes, Xander, exactly. Phil might even be that friend because I've never seen that friend or Phil in the same room together personally. Let's head on over to our reviews. Asher, who I believe is here. I don't have the time, though, Womp Rat. That's the problem. I barely have the time for this. Let's see. My fleet is the typical Executor Leviathan fleet, coordinating with fleet. Yes, get first when schedule allows. Assault battles, all maxed except Peridia Patrol. Good boy. We're going to see where your GP is to see if I'm going to fight you on that, but good. What are you currently working on? Just finished Leviathan Farm and currently getting the new marquees for Hondo. I'm also wondering whether I should R9 3 pirates so that I can get the R9 materials from the era battles or to focus on other things, such as getting Zombie Bros to R9 or finally finishing Profundity, but plus still needing R9 GK for Hondo. Recently got declined for guild because my roster could not do the later TB planets. All right, we're gonna get back to that first after we read this. So I'm torn as to what to do. I have fairly weakish TB teams, so not sure whether I should bring up some other teams, get conquest units up, get 3 pirates from R7 to R9 to reap those rewards or whatnot. I'm completely burnt out for prestige and still have a lot of upgrades to fulfill on Leviathan and don't mind putting Profundity on the back burner and whaling for 7-star day 1, maybe next month or the month after. In terms of useful characters that I don't have at Relics and that can't be boosted by Lightspeed tokens, the final 2 for me is Jedi Knight Revan and Afra. So once they are done, I can finally stop farming gear and farm Relics scrap. I've also made a list of top 10 relics I would like to increase to 7 once the Hondo and Profundity requirements are done. If you think some are wrong and others should take priority, let me know. Okay, so 2 things. First of all, Profundity. I've said this before. The best time to farm a fleet is when you don't need the fleet, because then you don't have to rush it to 7-star. So if you are hurting for prestige, you can still go for Profundity. Profundity will be useless to you, but that means that every month you get free shards of Profundity until you are ready to actually upgrade its skills. So kind of just keep that in mind, having not looked at the account yet. Number 2, my roster could not do the later TB planets. I'm running into this a lot now as a recruiter. A year ago, I never would have even thought about the combats for TB when it came to looking for recruits, because R5 to R7 teams were not a big deal. But now we're getting to the point, and a lot of guilds are getting to the point where they need a ton of engagement in R8 planets and some engagement in R9 planets. So I've looked at a lot of accounts that are maybe a little below us in GP range, that are like 11 million versus 12.5 million, who are doing amazing in the raid, and who have great GAC records. But I have to be very iffy about bringing them into the guild, because I understand and I look at their roster and I say they are going to be completely useless to us in TB. So my goal, I don't know what guild that was, and I don't know what their TB plan is. For us, our TB plan is everything day 3 to day 6 is helpful to me because of the stacking preload. So your goal probably is going to be to get a lot more of your R7 and R8 teams, because you just do not have the materials now to focus on crazy R9 teams. You will, Con Warlock. 100% you will need it in order to get the Profundity high enough to get to the bonus tier. Not saying that you won't. I am saying that you will be able to start Profundity much earlier than just saying, okay, I'm going to wait until I'm fully ready for it. But we're going to see. This is before looking at your roster. Now, the second thing that I wanted to talk about with your roster is, actually, we just did Profundity, we talked about, and TB planets. So I guess it's the third thing we want to talk about with your roster. None of these characters are bad characters to bring to R7. The way that I look at it, Malicos, mine is actually only R6, but I've been toying with bringing him to R7. My Star Killer is R8. Ben Solo should be at least R7. Luthen should honestly be at least R7. With Saw, if you're going the Saw route, I use the Mon Mothma route. Third Sister and GI should definitely be R7. Cursatan should be R7. D-Ray should be R7. What this is telling me is that your account most likely is more bare bones and is not focused on cohesive teams. And that is why you're struggling to find a guild that wants you for TB. Because for me, I say Ben Solo R7. Why? Because I'm going to be using Ray. I mean, I don't use Ray anymore, but I used to use Ray a lot in TB. Third Sister GI, like you should be using that in TB at least, at the very least, to do the Riva mission. And your guild, obviously, you have Third Sister already, but that's Shard Shop currency. And even if you're not doing that mission, I know some guilds actually lock that mission down. They can do Dathomir to get Dathomir points. Cursitan, like to me, that's an R8. Jabba is some of the easiest missions in TB, and it makes the most sense to use his cohesive team. D-Ray doesn't necessarily make it so that SLKR can do more missions, but it does make the missions he can do far more autoable and reliable and easy. I never found SLKR to be a reliable Dathomir team until I got D-Ray. And now with D-Ray, it's like, oh wow, this is super easy. So this is all without looking at your account, but I'm gonna say based on this, just got Leviathan, no profundity, working on Hondo. I'm gonna say 10 to 11 million. Needs around 1,000, half a full upgrade to 7-star, whatever it was, or just short, but fortunately Daily Reset got me just enough to get that tier done. That's good to know. So about 1,000 total prestige in order to do it at the bottom. And it won't even be as bad as like when we had to do it, because we had to do the battle over and over and over and over again, and it sucked. I'm going to say 10 to 11 million. So let's check it out. We're here. We are at basically 12.5 million. That is tough. Like, it's tough because we're in a position now where there's so many things that you do have to upgrade that it's hard to do those luxury upgrades that, you know, people like myself and other people were doing overall in the past. Let's see what you're doing on the raid. 330 million, which I think is just under, right? Is it 375 million for the next? Just checking my game real quick. It is 375 million for that next tier. So you guys are just under it right now. Honestly, for an account that just hit 2 years old, it's a really solid account. So it's got tons of light speed bundles, right? I imagine you're hurting for Zetas. There's a guy who I work with. I actually, I just had a discussion with him a few days ago about his account. I think his account is about a year old, and he's at like 11 million. And I looked at his account. He's got some really great stuff, and he's doing amazing in the raid. He's hitting like 15 million. But then you look at his Zetas, and he has like 175 versus the almost 400 that I have. So that's probably where you're hitting. Now, 221. So your account is about double the age of his. You have about 50 more Zetas. I'm assuming that a lot of your money now, when you spend money on the game, is going towards Zeta packs to kind of make that up. Let's see. Let's just check this out first. Raid history. So you can hit 10. You hit 8 last time, but you can hit 10, which basically means you're doing what your guild needs you to do. You're doing more than what your guild needs you to do, if we're being completely honest. You went for these guys. You did not take Tarkin to 9, which is, or Disguised Clone. It's tough because I guess you don't really need to, right, with where you are. So I'm not saying it's a priority to bring Tarkin to R9. It seems like you're already doing what your guild needs, and I don't know if it makes sense to spend more effort there right now with so much other stuff going on. Got all this stuff. Good. Profundity's so close. And so my thought process here is if you're hitting first and you're hitting first constantly, or at least when you have the time, I know Leviathan is going to make that easier because it's a faster battle than the Executor battle. But if I wanted to play the smart, I would really focus on Profundity this month so that by the end of the month, you have the prestige to get the ship, to start getting free shards, and then going back to getting Leviathan finalized. That just seems like the smart way of for me. And the way that I think about it, and again, when I was talking to this friend of mine a few days ago, I don't know how much money you spend on the game. I don't care how much money you spend on the game, as long as your bills are paid and as long as you're happy. My job isn't to tell you to spend less money. The way I see it, for someone that spends, I have two potential jobs. The first job is if I can get you doing the same exact progress you're doing now, but spending 30% less, I'm happy. The second job is if I can get you spending the exact same amount you're doing now, but doing 50% more, I'm happy. And to me, that seems like the smarter course of action for you because it's not going to fundamentally affect your fleet climb. It'll make your fleet climb a little bit more of a pain in the ass for the next month, but it'll be the same amount of pain in the ass that it already is. So it seems reasonable to me if you focus on the Profundity, get it to the spot where you can do the bonus mission, and then just let that sit in the background while you continue working on Leviathan. And then once you're ready for Profundity, that's when you can 7-star it, and you're going to save probably like 6,000 to 10,000 crystals right there. Got Afra, Cal, yeah, Leia, good, Jar Jar. So what? Okay, so Hondo. What are the things that we were missing up here? Final two for me are Jedi Knight and Afra. So Afra, you probably bought the Lightspeed bundle, right? You just have not unlocked the character. Okay. And she's a luxury. Like, I like her. I use her. I used her in my last GAC. There's nothing wrong with her. But to me, she is definitely something that, like, you don't necessarily need. It's crazy to me. Jedi Knight, right? You don't have fucking Revan? That's insane. That's crazy. Okay. Okay. So you're in this place where you're asking some very, very specific questions. And it's hard for me to give definitive answers with where you are in the game. Should you do Hondo stuff first? Should you do TB stuff first, right? Like, that becomes really tough. I can definitely give you some options for really great teams that'll help you overall. I think that if you are going to try and get into a better guild, and if anyone here is in Asher's guild right now, don't worry, he's not trying to get into a better guild. He's totally here on purpose. I didn't. If you are going to try and get into a better guild, you want to start working on things that'll be cohesive for you. So, as an example, if you get Disguised Clone Trooper to Relic 8, right? Not even Tarkin. Tarkin Relic 8 will help with the raid, but if you were to get Disguised Clone Trooper to Relic 8, your Lord Vader is already Relic 8. So that gives you a cohesive Relic 8 team, right? Pirates. Let's sort this out so it's only pirates. Okay, so pirates. if your goal is Hondo and your goal is maybe considering the era battles, getting a few of these pirates to Relic 9 will help you get a rebate from the era battles. And as long as you eventually commit to a full team, so you eventually commit to, all right, I'm going to get Hondo there, which you're going to do because of Smuggler's Run 3, you are going to have a cohesive Relic 9 team that'll help you in TB, that'll help your guild in the raid, even though you don't need any more score personally, that'll help you to get a why can't I think of the word? Raid, TB, a rebate on the era battles. You need to start thinking cohesion. Well, Meathead said R3, R9, so it leads me to believe that there's going to be 2 tiers of Smuggler's Run 3. That's my belief. And you're not going to be able to do both tiers. You're going to do one tier or the other tier. And one tier will be for like the just unlocked Hondo tier. And then there'll be a higher tier for getting the R9 team. So that's my belief. But that'll make Pirates a smart R9 team because it'll help your guild in the raid. It'll help you have a cohesive TB team. And it'll get you a return on a rebate on your investment with the era battles. So I would say Pirates are a pretty solid one. Now, again, another really solid one. Man, if you were to do these 3 guys, Enoch, Death Trooper, and Night Trooper, to Relic 8, Relic 9, because it makes sense for the assault battle, and you were to do Dark Trooper Moff Gideon to Relic 8, and you were to do Scout Trooper to Relic 8, so these 2 to Relic 8, these 3 to Relic 9, most guilds are doing multi-day Mandalore. And that is going to give you, I noticed that you can't see the full screen because of this, but that is going to give you a cohesive Mandalore team that can be used on multiple days, right? There we go, much better. That is something that is like super, super, super meaningful to somebody at your level that needs to start bringing cohesive teams up. I think I would do Pirates first because they are more timely. They will get you a rebate with the era battles. Then I would do those Enoch boys because those Enoch boys and Dark Trooper Moff Gideon and Scout Trooper will give you a TB team and they will give you that ROI. Let's see on these guys. How is your first order? Bringing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wouldn't use Kylo Ren. Bringing Hux and Dark Ray to R7 will give you a Dathomir team. It'll give you a day 3 team for TB, right? So that's 2 characters to Relic 7. Inquisitors, man. Like, you have most of these at base. If you bring Third Sister to Relic 7, Marok is already Relic 7. I don't know why you have his Omicron when, like, most of the use of that Omicron is exploding things in the later days. Grand Inquisitor to Relic 7, Seventh Sister, and Fifth Brother to Relic 7. That gives you another cohesive day 3 team. Now, I would like to slowly work on mine to Relic 8 because it'll give me a day 4 and 5 team as well. But right now, you have a lot of these like little things that need to be worked on. That is the problem with players that like do things just to requirements, is that you don't have the cohesion that you need to be able to do the later things in the game. So I would definitely do the Pirates first. And, you know, I know I think Scribe did 4-man Pirates. I would really try to prioritize a cohesive team for for Hondo so that you can use them in TB. I would do that first. Well, I would also try to in tandem get Profundity relics first, and then the prestige will happen on its own. But I would do those pirates to R9 first. I would do the Imperial Remnant to the R9, R8 second. I would consider upping those Lord Vader relic levels to get that team cohesive to relic 8 next. First order after that. So that's why I forget words this early in the morning, and I don't even have coffee yet. I'm just drinking. Is it vodka or is it water? Who knows? I would do the first order after that. I would do the Inquisitors after that. And then honestly, man, Hut Cartel is such an amazing team for TB at Relic 8. You already have Jabba because he's a requirement, or you already have Boba because he's a requirement, but Jabba, Kursitan, Bosch, and Skiff, wherever he is, there he is, they will auto all the way up through day 4. So you're in this weird place where you are completely caught up on everything except those ships that you're going to work on. But now it's about being smart, about being cohesive. That's the important thing. Malicos, great character for GAC. I leave him on the back burner for right now. Starkiller, great character for GAC. I'd leave him on the back burner just for right now. Same thing. Ben Solo, the raid team is not as important for TB. I would leave him on the back burner for right now. And honestly, I'd leave Luthen and Saw for right now. Because if your goal is get into higher guild, you want to be able to show them that you can put in force in the later days. Does that answer all your questions? That might be the longest roster review I've ever done. Roster reviews. Do you think I can get a bigger guild than my current one? Do you think that'll work? A lot of guilds, if you... Obviously, White Tiger, I did a review for you, I think like a month or two ago. But I've done a lot of reviews in that time period, so it's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, definitely. But I will tell you that a lot of guilds are looking for raid score. And I have a friend who... Again, this is a friend who I talked about before, whose account is only a year old. And he just got into a guild that is doing max raid score. They're doing max score on the raid, and he's only like 11 million, but it's because he's doing like 15 million in the raid. He's super prioritized the raid. Now, I mean, he wouldn't want to be in my guild because my guild is not doing the same thing in the raid. But if I were looking at his account, I'd probably pass on it, because there are a lot of other things that I would not be okay with yet. But a good raid score in a guild that needs raid score right now can definitely set you on the right path. Thank you, Scott. Yeah, focus on it. Again, big word. The word of the day is cohesion, right? Cohesion is important. In the past, requirements were important, but now cohesive teams are really, really, really important, especially if you want to get into higher guilds. All right, we got Zmustang up. Is Zmustang here? I see Mustang around a lot, but to get into a better guild, I mean, it depends on what that guild is going for. I recommend guilds go for BKM before they go for Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, because BKM is an easier mission personally. So I feel like it's better. But if you're looking to get into a guild and that guild is looking for Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, they don't care if you have BKM. There's hope for Vance. I would say Jedi Knight Cal Kestis is the safer option. BKM is the smarter option. But it's going to depend guild to guild. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's see. Zmustang. Go Speed Racer. What is our timestamp? 44. My God, that was a long one. Okay. Usually getting first, unless I forget to start my climb on time. 2 Leviathans, 12 7-star executors with more coming every month. So it's a newer shard. I took over running the fleet Discord. We look like we are caught up. Beautiful. Fanatical Devotion is not there, so maybe we don't have Third Sister yet. Duel of the Fates is where it needs to be. Perfect. Pretty Patrol is maybe a little bit behind depending on your GP. Currently working on gear and relics for layer requirements and ship shards for the Leviathan. I just unlocked Profundity in July. By the time you get this review, I should have Paw Patrol to 7. Well, we shall see about that. How long? 8:24. That was only a week ago. How long do you think it takes me to get to reviews? Jesus fucking tits. Speaking of, do we do another egg draws today? I feel like they are tough, but like, should we do one? Currently working on, are you dead set on continuing? I'm opening to pivoting if you convince me it is prudent. Okay. How highly do you value efficiency? Efficiency is fun. Never really farmed a character just because I like them in the movies and shows. Okay. I had this whole discussion yesterday with Logan about Fallen Order. Are there any favorite characters? I enjoyed Balin on the show, and I know his team and requirements are good, but it doesn't seem like the right time just yet. Now, the good news about Balin is that the next time he comes around, he will be permanent, so there's no rush on him. Possibly also Jedi Master Mace Windu. Shards for important Proving Ground characters. Luthen, SM33, so you will have SM33 by the end of this conquest. I demand one. Oh, man. Drawing a real person in a Wampa suit is going to be tough, but maybe we'll do that one today. I just unlocked and relicked Queen Amidala, Ben, Ezra, Jocasta, Bane, and Malgus in the last... That's a lot. Shit. All right, let's see. Just got caught up on Proving Grounds. Duel of the Fates is R9. Pretty Patrol is somewhere between 5 and 7 stars, finishing Leia, but it's an earlier shard, right? Because there's only 2 Leviathans. So I'm going to say somewhere around 8 million. Let's check it out. 9.8 million. Okay, so there's an 8 in the million at least. Let's see. Do you have the boys at 7? The boys of summer, are they there? 1, 2. Okay, you did. You got them. All right. Good for you. Let's check out your raid history. You're doing about 2 million. Your guild, yeah, your guild is not doing. First of all, man, is this like more of a? It hurts me to see a guild with only 44 members in it. That tells me it's either a hyper casual guild or a dying guild. A guild should never have 44 members in it, ever. So what is the story here? Is this like a guild you've been around for a long time? Like, did everybody leave because of my leaving your guild video? Because I got yelled at by my my alliance, sent me some very angry messages about that video. They didn't understand the video, I don't think. Oh well. What's going on here? I need to know the story. Casual, working on recruiting, more TW focused. Okay. All right, and you're dead set, right? This is your goal. Is this guild? Yes. The only reason that I ask is I feel like even for a casual guild, you could be in maybe a slightly higher casual guild. There are plenty of casual guilds. It just hurts me to see raid scores this low for somebody at your level. Actually, here's what you need to do. What you need to do is you need to send your guild my video on smart farming for Order 66. Because if everybody in your guild just gets Tarkin and Scorch to Relic 9, they will explode in terms of raid. Right? I don't know if you saw that video. Those of you that didn't see that video, it's talking about literally this situation, this type of guild, and how they should handle Order 66. Your guild members, you are spending way too many resources to get too shitty of a raid score. Get Tarkin to R9, get Scorch to R9. Everybody gets an overall 4.5 million score, and boom, you've just exploded your raid rewards for your entire guild. Let's see. How are we doing? See, like Tarkin's here. Scorch. Tarkin Scorch, man. Just, and then don't spend anything else on this raid. You don't need Jedi Master Mace Windu. You don't need any of that shit. Tarkin Scorch. Relic 9. Boom. And if you do that and you wanted to move guilds, there will be a lot of guilds in the 550 range probably that would accept you, who are not more casual oriented guilds, not like the semi-competitive ones, that would be willing to take you. Tarkin Scorch, man. I did the, it is, I don't think it's my best video. I think it is a really good video, and is one that I really implore people to watch, and I really implore people to send it to their guilds, because it wasn't intended on a player-by-player basis. It was intended for guilds to look at, so that officers could see it. And so that they could say, hey, this is what we should do as a guild. Because you will spend less signal data overall. You will spend less lower relic materials overall. I highly recommend for you, Mustang, do 2 refreshes per day on Scorch's node, and you get those 2 to R9. Boom. And if you like your guild, talk to your officers, send them that video. Message me on Discord if you can't find the video. I'll send it to you. And tell everybody to do that. And your guild will explode in raid. And that may make recruiting so much easier. And then you can all go about doing other things and focusing on other things. Because you're in a time in the game where you need to focus on other things that aren't the raid. So you want to focus on the raid as little as possible while maximizing your raid score. And your score will be, because you have the Keller and Beck, right? I'm assuming you're doing at least 1.2 with that team. So your score would be like 4.8. And who is it? I can't, Henuru? I don't know how to say, no, is it you? It is. I'm not going to try and pronounce your name correctly, but the Tarkin Scorch battle is one of the easier runs for Order 66. Look at this. We're making connections here. See, I'm not just making guilds within my alliance fold and get destroyed so I get yelled at. I am also making connections so that other people can find better guilds. Let's check this out. Good. Okay. So we need JMK. That's low tier. We don't have to worry about that. Okay. Have it. Nice. You just finished these 2. Nice. How far are we here? Not terrible. Leia's very close. There's no need to pivot on Leia. Okay. Balin, not needed right now. Here's what I would do. It's Henry if you say it fast enough. Okay, I'm going to keep that in mind for the future then. Here's what I would do if I were you. I would put a lot of effort. I'm going to answer for you. I'm going to answer you that. Who's saying that? Anime lover. I'm going to answer that for you after this review. Okay. So if I forget, please remind me. Here's what I would do here. I would do 2 refreshes on Scorch a day. I would really try to get that as soon as possible. I would bring Scorch and Tarkin to R9. That is going to put you in a position for raid score where you can find another guild. Or if you want, You can tell your guild, hey, this is the smartest course of action. Egnards tells you so. If you need the video, message me. I'll find it for you. That is my first and foremost. I would be primary farming Leia right now because you are so close to Leia, while you secondary farm Leviathan, right? So you're finishing up this, you're finishing up doing relic materials, and you have, it looks like just Lobot here for Leia, and you're working on gearing and sharding for Leviathan, okay? So that's your secondary farm. I would have Baekatan as my tertiary farm. So that's where any extra goes. Because if you want to be taken serious, if you're not dead set on your guild and you want to be taken seriously, you want to have Jedi Knight Cal Kestis and you want to have Baekatan. Now, it looks like you already have Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, so you want to finish that up and go for Baekatan. I would try in the short term to bring your Paw Patrol to Relic 5 for now. Don't bring them to Relic 9 yet, because you have other stuff that needs that Relic 9. But I would try to at least get them to Relic so that they start doing some work for you on getting useful stuff. That is what I would do, man. It's not rocket surgery where you are in the game. I think between Tarkin Scorch, I can't talk. Between Tarkin Scorch, between finishing Leia, between finishing Leviathan and moving into Bo-Katan, you're probably looking at like 4 to 5 months. At that point, we're going to have the new era, and I don't know what that new era is going to bring. I don't know if that new era is going to be important for you or not, or what those rewards are going to be for you. So it's really hard to say otherwise. But I will say that if the next era is not important for you personally, that would be a not terrible time to go after Balin, because you'll have most of your ducks in a row at that point. I would also maybe consider working towards Lord Vader mid to long term, just because you're pretty close to there. And even if you don't have the full clone team, having a GL is better than not having a GL. Does that help? Does that make sense, Mustang? Does that put you into perspective? I've just made you some very lucrative connections here with guilds. And again, if you like your guild, people don't understand. I'm not telling people just leave your guild. If you like your guild, start getting involved in getting them a little bit ahead, because you can be a casual guild and do better at the same time. You can be both things, as long as you do it in a smart way. And the Tarkin Scorch way is a very, very, very smart way to do things. Look, the first thing you say to your guild is, hey, listen, guys, I like you guys. I like the people here. We're all friends. I really don't want to leave. I'm starting to be, I want to be casual. I want to stay casual, but, I think that there's a couple of things that we can do to stay casual and still do better, right? That is the important thing, is to have that conversation. Anime Lover, I want to answer your question. My guild has a lot of dead weight in it. What do I do? Jump ship? We can't even get first box in the raid. Jump ship, man. Here's the thing, right? It goes 2 ways. And again, I did 2 videos. The first video was, I give you permission to leave your guild. And that video, I got in a lot of trouble. I woke up a few days ago and a big wig in my Discord, or my alliance, sent me like 30 messages about it, because I guess a guild got destroyed within the alliance because of the video. And they just didn't understand the video, because the video isn't saying just leave your guild. The video is saying have conversations within your guild. The second video, though, was to cut off the dead weight, and that officers need to cut out the dead weight. If officers are not cutting out dead weight and like weeding the garden dies. And that is what you're seeing in your guild right now. Now, if you have one or two people dead weight, I'm going to tell you what, there's like one or two people in my guild that are dead weight, and I honestly would love to get rid of them. But they have a lot of connections and friends and long-term whatever. One or two people is not a big deal, right? One or two people is fine. But the reality is, if you are getting more and more dead weight, your guild is getting worse and worse. It's kind of like inflation. Your salary is not going up, but the cost is going up. And that's a problem, like a huge problem for you. Now, if you did Tarkin Scorch, or if you just farmed Tarkin for the 300k, it sounds like, because you seem to be a little bit earlier game, I'm sure you can find a guild at your level that is more active. You want a guild with active leadership. You want a guild with smart leadership. You want a guild that is willing to do the hard thing and is willing to say, no, this is not right, and is willing to tell people, listen, I'm not booting you. You're booting yourself because we gave you tons of options and choices and chances to do certain things, and you didn't choose to do those certain things. And you might still be a great person, but you don't fit the dynamic or the criteria. If your guild is not willing to do that, then that's a problem. And I will be fully honest, I am personally not willing to do that. I am a very sentimental person. So I found somebody in my guild that is willing to do that. I handle the recruiting. He handles getting rid of people. That way I don't have to do that, and I can focus on the things that I like to do. And that sounds kind of like cowardly, right? But the reality is we all have a job. We're all good at our very specific job. And your officer corps should represent everybody having a dynamic job within their guild, that they know what to do and they know how to do it. I have spoken. All right, let's move on. Roster reviews. Man, it's stuck in my head, the review song. Good egg, bad egg. Exactly. That is exactly what it is. All right, let's see what we got here. We have... we're going to turn off streamer mode because we don't care. Cdld. I don't know if they're here right now, but we're going to say it's at 102. Let's check this out. Top 20 Refute Arena, all Leviathan but 5 Executors, including 3 in 18, 19, 20. The other 2 often in the top 10 or even top 5. Are you coordinating? Yes, but with the top 12 only, and I can't go through 23 to 12. Some in 23 to 12 left the game, apparently. It happens, but it's interesting that you can't go through or can't get through 2. All right, our assault battles are all over the place. Currently finishing Jedi Master Mace Windu. Then I was thinking about going for R9 Torque and Scorch. The sooner, the faster the ROI. I use both in JC. Then Leia, Jabba, and after that Leviathan. If I can do BKM or Jedi Knight, I'll cast this, but I prefer BKM. In between for my guilds, it's always good. Are you dead set on continuing? Apart from Jedi Master Mace Windu, pretty much all gear as the Matter. You're all right. So he's already farmed, so I can't talk you out of that. It sounds like you're a lot earlier. It sounds like you are an account that maybe played the game early, left the game for a while, and came back to the game because you have a pretty heavy fleet shard. How highly do you value efficiency? I'm starting to track my gear mats in SD with Excel spreadsheets. Are there any favorite characters? I upgraded GM to pre-Kairos and they seem really fun, but I prefer to stay efficient. I might still buy their Cairo LST and use the 2 given in the past, but I do not want to farm Inquisitors. I just hate them, so I'll buy their Lightspeed bundle one day. That's so interesting to me. I want you to think about that for a second. I hate these characters, so I won't farm them, but I will spend $50 buying them. Just let that sink in. Seems silly to me, right? But to each their own. I'm not here to convince you otherwise. Just normally when I don't like something, I don't want to spend money on it. All right, let's see. Again, I think this is an account that's in a more. It's in a shard that's been around the block a little bit, but has had some breaks. So I'm gonna say somewhere around. Honestly, especially with these assault battles all over the place, I'm gonna say somewhere around 6 to 7 million. 8 million. I'm off today. I feel like I've been off by about 1 million with every single one of these today. 8 million, rank 27. All right, you have not focused on fleets at all. Only a 5-star executor, 8 million. This is tough. Okay. Lord Vader as an early GL was certainly a choice. Kylo Ren, not a terrible one to go for first. Possibly a Lightspeed bundle there. Let's see where we're at. Profundity. Leviathan. Okay, we're not terribly off from Leviathan. Leia, you are very close to Leia. Okay. Tarkin Scorch. Let's check point 4, about 2. I'm imagining that they are trying to push to the next box, which is, let's see where those raids are in game. Popping over to Order 66. So they're probably going to try to hit at least the 147 box. All right. I want to check out these assault battles is really what I want to do. Forest Moon. Places of Power, CT3. Military Might, CT1 or 2. Let's check this out. We have CLS. We have Han. We have Chupio. We have C3PO? We have C3PO, and we have Chewbacca. Mon Mothma, no. I am going to tell you that your CLS team can do CT3, but you're going to have to remod for it, right? Like, you look at these mods, I understand why they're low. I get why they're low. You're going to have to full on remod just for the event. Now, is it worth it to full on remod just for an event? Yes, it very much is, especially when that event is autoable after you remod for the event. So I highly, highly recommend doing that. The team can definitely do it. Maybe with a Zeta, that's the only really problem. You'll definitely want Chewie's Rage. See this. Wait for me. All right. Maybe not, just because I don't know if the Zetas are worth it for you right now. Translation, probably don't need that. Probably want that. Probably not needed, though. Raging Wookiee. Shouldn't need this. I think with 1 or 2 Zetas, you can probably get Military Might to CT3. Ground War. I am hungry. Yeah, Ground War is pretty much where it should be right now. Duel of the Fates, you're doing the R5 tier. I'd love to see it at the R9 tier, personally. We know that, but it's not necessary where you are right now. I think you really need to spend a lot of time focused on those fleets. Punishing when done, Mark 6. Okay. Again, people have said this to me a lot in chat. I've never done it. I'm sure there are videos on it. This Mark 6, I'm told it doesn't even need to be 7-star. It just needs to be active. There is an executor counter to Leviathan that utilizes Mark 6. I'm told it's very reliable. Or mostly reliable, I should say. I don't know if it'll be doable at 5-star executor, but it's definitely something that I would look into. at the very, very, very least, to see if you can push yourself into that top 10 and get a little bit more crystals from your fleet arena. Um, Fury. We don't have Fury class unlocked yet. Oh, I think you have it down here. Fury is at 145. So you got a little while before Fury class. Okay. But that's okay, because 145 of 330, let's see. 330 minus 145 is 185 divided by 20. That's about 9 months. I don't know if you buy the big conquest pass, so I don't know if it's half the time. I don't know if you do refreshes. Yeah, but Scribe also made fun of my hair, so fuck him. Um, I, let's see. Tools. Let's check this out. Where are we at? Java. Leia is close. Tarkin Scorch, the fast array. I use both in GAC. Okay. If you're gonna do the Tarkin Scorch, you have to commit to R9. That is definitely cut Scribe some slack. He doesn't have hair. That's definitely. I don't. The thing is, you're doing what your guild needs you to do for this raid, right? And let's take a look. So you have the Keller and Beck team. You don't have Jocasta, but the Keller and Beck team. That's 1.2 right there. You have an R3 clone team. That's 900k right there. You're gonna have a Jedi Master Mace Windu team. I don't know what you're planning to take them to. I'm assuming you're gonna take them between R5 and R7. So you're looking at about 4 million total raid score. I don't want to tell you not to take Scorch and Tarkin to R9 because it is an amazing team. But I do want to just stress that if you over prioritize the raid over what your guild is going to do, you're gonna see a little bit of an ROI increase from the raid personal box, but you're not gonna see a crazy increase over your guild. So I'd be very careful about focusing on Tarkin and Scorch right now. Especially if Jedi Master Mace Windu is something that you can't be talked out of. It is, I will again stress, Tarkin Scorch is like the creme de la creme of like my top raid teams. So I'm 50-50 on that. I would consider maybe skipping it for now, unless your guild has some like super amazing plan for the future, or like everybody's going to do it. And if everybody's going to do it, then you're going to see a huge increase in rewards. And if that's the case, do it. But if you're just doing it for the sake of doing it, you're going to get a little bit more MK1 or MK3, and I don't think you're going to see as much of an upgrade as you think you are. Leia you should do because you are super close to Leia. Jabba you should do because I think it is dumb not to do Jabba. Jabba is one of the smartest plays that a player can do to help with their modding. I think I would personally, I would maybe, if you were to do Leia and Jabba and then Jedi Master Luke, and I normally tell people to fit profundity in there, but I'm going to tell you to skip profundity. But if you were to do Leia, then Jabba, then you were to do Jedi Master Luke, that would put you in a good position where you are closer to Fury class and where you should start like pushing towards Leviathan so that you have a really solid fleet. I don't think we're getting any new fleet news in the near future. If we do, it'll be a profundity lifter, but I do not give advice based on my own rumor mill and based on my own thoughts. I give advice based on what's actually going on. Leia, Jabba, because I see Leia as being 2 months for you. Jabba, not that much longer. Leviathan's going to take you 9 months without refreshes. You have time for Jedi Master Luke in there. And he's just a super, super solid character for many game modes. And he's going to shore up your military might if you don't get it. He's going to shore up your ground war. Jabba will shore up your rebel roundup, right? So you'll start to build out those things in your game. After that Leviathan, that's honestly probably the time to do BKM. Yeah, I think you're on the right track. I would just shuffle JML in there, and I would reconsider Tarkin Scorch unless your guild is doing that as a full guild project. My hair is looking a little bit less fly today. Yeah, it's okay. You know what? That's because I washed it this morning. I was feeling shamed. All right. I know Hot posted a joke. My wife gave me an envelope with not to be opened until 2027 on it. Inside was a list of reasons I cannot be trusted to follow simple instructions. I do think Founder Hallcraft is coming to the game, but I cannot give advice based off of something that hasn't happened yet. Is Admiral Radis paying me kickbacks? No, but you know who is paying me kickbacks? According to our roster review song, Meathead is. I'm going to take a quick 1 minute to refill my water cup, and then I will come back. Should I? Yeah, we'll just play our regular. So give me a minute, and we will be right back. All right. Okay. We are back. Let's see. Let's go back to Discord. No, we want to keep Discord on, not off. Status call. Push those R9 packs. Meathead is on the West Coast. So for right now, it's 7-6. It is 5 in the morning for him. And I can tell you for a fact that Meathead is not up right now, especially on a holiday weekend. All right, let's see. We have Baekatan, who is a Bo-Katan stan, I can only imagine. Had a nice little conversation with this guy a few days ago. Thank you in advance. I've been playing on and off for 7 years. However, before December 2024, I rarely played, like maybe 6 months and 6 years. But since December 2024, I played daily and expanded my 800K roster to just over 9 million GP. So there are a lot of Lightspeed bundles that have been purchased and close to Kyber. I really want to improve in all areas, but mainly in efficiency and GAC. What do the top 20 of your fleet arena look like? 7 Leviathans, the rest are executors. That's actually surprising with your on and off play to have so few Leviathans at all. For a fact, Xander. Unless you did not unlock Fleet Arena until recently. That is kind of interesting. Are you coordinating? No, I don't know them. Very old. Oh, okay. So it is an old shard. So yeah, that's really surprising that it's all Leviathans. You hit the jackpot. Um, is there a copy pastable version of the RR outline? If you're on mobile, you can copy and paste things with formatting. I understand what you're saying. It is a pain in the ass because you have to like go in and edit the things. So if you're on computer, unfortunately, there isn't, because there's no way for me to post it where it doesn't format. Um, but if you do it on mobile, if you just copy and paste text, what you could do, actually, here's a great idea. Go on mobile, copy and paste text, send it. Then go to your PC, copy and paste the edited version, and then edit in your answers. That might be a smart way to do it so that it's a little bit easier. On mobile, copying and pasting should keep the formatting, because I do it all the time on our guild Discord. Assault battles, Rebel Roundup CT3, so probably Jabba. Forest Moon CT2, Places of Power CT2, Military Might CT1, Ground War CT2, Seas of Shadow CT1, Final Devotion CT1, Duel of the Fate Lover Boys 0, R7 Pretty Patrols not doing, but will be when I get the Lightspeed tokens. What are you currently working on? Currently working on finalizing my JMK team and arm. Then I'll be doing Jar Jar. However, I don't know if this is smart. Anarchy, I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't work for CG. I know a lot of people think that I do. We will probably get a data mine on Wednesday when the patch comes out. And when the patch comes out, we'll know, right? That is when we'll know about the data mines and what packs are coming. Currently working on Jar Jar. Okay, here's the thing. I am the biggest Jar Jar stan. You are Baekatan. I am Bay Jar Jar. I love Jar Jar. My team is fully complete. It pains me to say that going for Jar Jar is probably not the smartest thing in the world for you. Now, if you want to do it for fun, great. But because battle for Naboo is over, he's a very low priority team. It is a great team. I love the team. I am a fan of the team. They work well for me in the game modes that I need them in. But you have things that are probably smarter for you to do. So because you said I don't know if this is smart, I am going to pretend that you don't have to farm him and that you are willing to not farm him when I give this review. Oh, Jar Jar's a favorite. That's rough. Okay, I get it. How highly do you value efficiency? I prefer fun farms in the past, but now I'm all about efficiency. So I'm gonna try to work Jar Jar in for you. Okay, that's we're gonna try. We're gonna see where we can fit Jar Jar in to get our efficiency. But I would really like to see some of these assault battles kind of finished up. Need to finish Bane and QA, which I will do the next PG as both are 40 shards off. Then it's Ezra and Luthen. Okay, let's see. I mean, you already told me that you're about 9 million, right? So we don't need to guess. 9.3 million. All right, there we go. Oh, raid history. You're doing 300,000 in order 66. So you can do more. That's interesting. It's hard for me to get the vibe on you as a player because you played very casually. And then it's very clear you spent some money this year because you hit 9 million over the course of that year. But then you also, it looks like you're playing pretty casually with this raid as well. Let's check out our guild. I mean, they probably want you to do about 2 million, so you're a little bit behind your guild. Let's see. We have Jedi Master Luke, so your Ground War. Okay, so your Ground War is CT2, but you have Jedi Master Luke, right? You can do, as long as you have the Zeta, which I guess you probably don't know. If you get the Jedi Knight Luke lead Zeta, you can do Ground War at CT3. And the goal here will be to take all the speed mods off of Jedi Master Luke, put him in the lead spot. Excuse me. Putting him in the lead slot with Jedi Master or Jedi Knight Luke in the lead slot, then Jedi Master Luke. I would like Grandmaster Yoda, Jedi Knight Revan, and General Kenobi. And you use the granted special in the beginning, and then you work through each round until you get down to the last guy, and you use the granted special on him so that Jedi Knight Luke starts each turn. Very important. Rebels. I mean, you have Chewpio, Chewbacca, C-3PO, Han Solo. You have the team to do this. Take Commander Luke Skywalker for military might. Commander Luke Skywalker, Chewpio in the second slot, C-3PO, Han Solo, and Mon Mothma. I'd put mods on her, but you don't even need mods on her. Mods on her will help, but you don't even need mods. In the first round, use the granted special with everybody. And then just hit auto. It might take 1 or 2 tries, but it's not super hard. Now, I do see, like, on Commander Luke, you do have some mods that are not super great, like this triangle with defense and 5 speed. I imagine that's probably similar throughout the team, right? 5 speed, 4 speed. So I would say maybe try to put slightly faster mods on for the event, but you can already do it. You already have everything that you need. You have DS Ray, okay. Places of power at CT3, you can do it with DS Ray. I unfortunately, I can't give you the full team comp because I've never had to do it with SLKR. But I know that with Darkseid Ray, it would probably be Kylo Ren, Darkseid Ray, General Hux. Most likely Kylo Ren Unmasked, and then the 5th slot would either be First Order Officer or Sith Trooper. I don't have an exact for you because I've never had to do it, but you can definitely do Places of Power at CT3. This is probably one of your more well-modded teams. Yeah, not terrible. Hey, Platinum. Happy Labor Day. I still have to do my voicemail to work so that everyone knows that we're closed, because some people will actually show up today, I'm sure. Fanatical Devotion. Inquisitors. Okay, so we're not there with Inquisitors yet. That's fine. Secrets and Shadows. So you're probably doing it with Phoenix, so that's fine. Lover Boys, you're going to have them soon once you get the Lightspeed tokens. Duel of the Fates. Not even... Oh, I did order 66. I'm like, why am I not seeing... Okay, so you're doing the... Oh, all right. Lover Boys is the R7. Peridia Patrol, you're... All right, I get it. It's just formatted weird. Now I understand. I am a strong proponent of doing Peridia Patrol at R9. Okay, that's a huge ROI point for me. Where you are in terms of GP, it's not a necessity, but I would put some consideration towards it. Jedi Master Luke, Leia, Lord Vader, you have Jabba. Man, you've done a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 7. I really want you to have Executor. Okay. You got really, really lucky on this. Now, I will say, I said this in another review. If you're having trouble beating Leviathans with Executor, there is a comp that uses the Mark 6 that makes it very easy. I don't have the comp. I don't have the strategy. I would just look up a video, Executor Mark 6 versus Leviathan counter, and that may be helpful to you in terms of being able to get to first possibly more easily. Let's see. Have all of that. No, you don't have this yet because you don't have any of the Zetas. Okay. Okay. Profundity's right there. Cal. Leviathan. Baekatan. I mean, you're not in the worst spot for. Let's see. Okay. Honestly, I've gone back and forth in saying this to people. And I'm going to say this to you because you seem like a player who wants to play semi-casually, you know, maybe not put in a ton of effort, but still play every day. So I would very strongly consider doing the Tarkin Scorch. Where is Scorch? He's down here. Doing the Tarkin Scorch raid run and ignoring everything else with the raid. So that would mean doing 2 refreshes of Scorch every day. Getting Tarkin and Scorch both to Relic 9. It is one of the easiest raid runs. It's just those 2 characters. You will have to remod for it, but it's not very difficult modding at all. That's 3.6 million for the raid right there. That'll put you above your guild. That'll help your guild out considerably. And it would mean you do not have to focus on the raid very much at all anymore either. I would very strongly also, because I guess I work for Admiral Radis, I would very strongly advocate for you finishing your Profundity because you are so close. Profundity is not going to help you get to first place in Fleet Arena right now. But my most quotable saying at this point is the best time to farm a fleet is when you don't need a fleet. Because then it can sit in the background while it's earning shards on its own. And you're so close to it that it makes sense to do that. I would definitely do Tarkin Scorch first. No, I would do Profundity first. Try to get that done by the end of the month. Tarkin Scorch will be next because Scorch it's going to take you a month and a half to 2 months in order to get him to where he needs to be in order to get that R9. Want to see. Have Malgus. Don't have Fury. I don't think we know how far off you are from Fury class. But I would definitely start working towards Leviathan, especially if you want to be a more efficient player and you want to get into Kyber. Having all of the fleets is really a strong way to build out an account that is going to do well in Kyber. I think that because you don't have Fury and you're a little ways off, this might be where you can start to side farm Jar Jar if you really want to, and you can kind of work on Leviathan and Jar Jar in tandem with each other. The only other thing that I would say to you is those things that I mentioned to you earlier on that involve the assault battles. Really take the time to do those things because it is free resources every single month. I do want to look at one more that I noticed was not done. Right. So here is an example. Forest Moon. If you speed these guys up, like put your fastest mods on, who's the leader? Is it Veers or is it Stark? I can never remember. I guess it's Stark. So if you do, right, Stark is the leader. Now I guess it's Veers. Veers is the leader. Yeah. So if you do Veers, Stark, Piet, Dark Trooper, and Range Trooper, right, you might need. You probably don't even need this because you do mostly basics. And Range Trooper, and you mod them fast, you will be able to do Forest Moon super easily. I did it on Vanced's account, and Vanced has like the worst mods I've ever seen. So if I can do it on his account, you can definitely do it. So that's what I would say. That's how I would build out your account. And all of those little assault battle tidbits, I would take them very seriously because that's free resources that you're basically leaving on the table every single month. Okay, so Jacob, to answer your stuff now that I'm done here, could someone say the Rebel Team comp for the assault battle? There's 2 comps. CLS, Chewpio in the second slot, Chewbacca, C3PO, and Han Solo is the comp that most people do. And you have to get them a little bit higher up and you have to make them fast. But if you happen to have Mon Mothma farmed, then CLS, Chewpio in the second slot, Mon Mothma, C3PO, and Han is a much easier composition. But you do have to, when you go into the battle, you have to use the granted special with everybody. You'd have to do the granted special with everybody first. Ooh, Korean. Jong Yonsarang Wayo. Did I say that right? Jonga Wansarang Wayo. Maybe? I think so. I hope so. I have to get back into doing that. What would you recommend for your first R9s? It depends on your account. I don't think if you're talking about first R9s, I don't think that the Poncho Bros are necessary that early on in the game. I think that a requirement character is probably smarter as a first R9. So something that is going to get you a GL or a GL ship, that would completely depend on what your roster looks like. In the past, Radis would be a great first R9, but Profundity has kind of been lacking lately, so is maybe not the best first R9 unless your Fleet Shard is lagging behind, and having Profundity early helps you there. I don't think that the Prettia Boys are bad R9s to start with. If you do that, you will build up a lot of extra stuff. You'll build up a lot of R9 material over time that by the time you need those R9s, you will be in a better position and you will not have to spend as many crystals towards them. White Tiger, I'm going to tell you same thing that I said before. Go to your guild. I have a video on it. Message me on Discord if you want the video. I'll find it for you. Send it to your guild. Send it to your guild leaders. Tarkin Scorch R9 is the smartest thing that a guild, not a person, a guild can do as a collective guild. If that guild is in the low to mid game, Tarkin Scorch to R9 is a fairly easy run. You still have to mod them fairly well, but it's a fairly easy run if you put the right characters, you put the right mods on them, and it will jumpstart the rewards for those guilds. What do I think the top 3 Zetas are for the new pirates? I'd love to tell you. I don't know. I'm not in the same position in the game as you are. I have 9 Zetas on the back burner at this moment. They are going to go towards Hondo and Jedi Master Mace Windu, but I apply every Zeta. In order to tell you what the top 3 Zetas are, I would need the full teams, right? I'd need to see what the teams actually do. And we still don't have Pirate Jude Law. We still don't have Hondo. So it's really hard to say, hey, what are the best Zetas? But Calvin Awesome is probably the better resource for breaking down Zeta acquisition and which Zetas are the best and which order to apply Zetas in. I know my role. I know where I fit into this meta of content creators. And for me, it is math and pathing, not Zetas. I unfortunately do not. Um, I unfortunately do not have a great focus when I've been playing for, the amount of time that I've been playing, and don't have to think about that as much. Cdld, we actually just finished your roster review. It's right before this, but don't worry, I am going to timestamp this after we are done, so you will be okay. We are going to do, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Let's do Egdraws now, and we'll see if we do another roster review after that, just because my voice is starting to get a little bit hoarse, and I have to talk less when we're doing egg draws, so it'll give my voice a little bit of a chance to rest there. So we're going to do an egg draws now. Let's get that set up. One of my favorite things. Now, I know that the request right now is Fat Phil dressed in a Wampa costume. So we're going to try to accommodate that. First things first, we need a picture of Fat Phil. I don't know if I Google Fat Phil will come. Like, I need a picture of his face. I need like a big picture of his face. Mute this. Okay, so we are gonna get. Okay, we're gonna pause Phil there. I'm gonna do a Wampa. Okay. Now I don't know how to, because Wampas are white, so I feel like I need to change the background color to something that is not white. And I feel like I'm gonna need gray. So I don't know if I want to change it to gray. Let's do, there's really no, let's do like a light blue as our background. No, it's too much like, well, it's kind of like snow. First things first is we're going to do some Fat Phil here. Let's see, we got a typical white boy. All right, we got our white boy face. Let's get our white boy face color. I'm going to get a little bit more color in there. This good? No. We don't want to do that. Egg draws. White boy face color. Okay, that's perfectly fine, right? Blue. Ooh, bluish gray might work. Let's do bluish gray. Let's do something like that. It'll be like kind of icy too. Okay, so we got our white boy face color. Going white boy crazy. Tom Cruise is so in love with Katie. Tom Cruise crazy. Let's. He's got. It's not really a big head. Let's draw an outline. No. We are not putting Phil in blackface. That is not happening. I don't hate him that much. You think darker? Darker gray or darker skin? Think he's got a tan? Really? Even like more orange, maybe? Ooh, I like this actually. Let's go with. Yeah, okay. I like that. Um, we are gonna go with red lips. He's got a small mouth. Oh, that's too much. That'll be like lipstick. Zoom in here and give him his mouth. And I think it's brown. Kind of got like a brown beard. So we're gonna use the airbrush for that. One of those people that there we go. Hey Panda. Morning. Great. And we can always change the background after, right? We can change the background if we don't like it. So that's okay. Now, I know Phil is in his 30s and he's much younger than I am, but I'm going to give him a little bit of gray. No, it's too much. I want to give him just a little bit of gray. I want to just remind him that he's not as young as he thinks to. Oh shit, that's right, the soul patch. That is correct. Let's get that in there. Good call. We're gonna make this. There we go. Oh, Panda, that's awesome. 10 million is it's a milestone. I can't wait till I hit 20 million. But 10 million is quite the milestone. He doesn't like to open his eyes very much. So we're gonna give him like small eyes. And too much. We're gonna say they're brown. I don't know what color his eyes are. We are drawing Phil in a Wampa costume. We do have to give him a nose. Not really good at drawing noses. Little penis nose. No, those are too bushy. Ooh, a clear group. No, it's still. Ooh, we can make that smaller. Too big. Two? No, keep going. And I mean, to put Cheeto dust on his beard. Okay. Fine. Let's put some Cheeto dust on his beard. Like really vibrant orange. I don't. He always wears it like he's got it. You know what? We're gonna put the headphones on him. He's not yawning. We're gonna put the headphones on him, even though we're also putting him in a. Let's see, they're black and it looks like white over. Even though we're putting him in a costume. Picasso age 5. So let's get those little earmuffs on that he likes to wear. Now I'm gonna do some. I know it's black. No, I want them to curve in. I know that that is black, but because the Wampa is going to be, or rather it's white, because the Wampa is also white, we are going to do more of a gray. That's okay. That's fine. We'll do like a little inlet thing here so that hopefully people know those are his earbuds, right? And all right, let's see. A Wampa costume. How the fuck do we do a Wampa costume? Um, a Wampa costume. It's ooh, sexy Wampa costume. I'm liking this one as I know you can't see it. I'm liking it as my inspiration. So we're gonna take this white. We're going to use the airbrush. Kind of looks like Iron Man. Oh, I want these to be more formed. I'm gonna need to auction an NFT of this. Let's see. Okay, so we want to. I should have done the tusks after. I just kind of screwed myself here. It's gonna be a pain. Let's make this bigger. Give him little spiky claws. Nope, too big. make this one a little bit bigger. Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of somebody on Pinterest as like my inspiration. Now, I don't want to call him fat. Oh, that's in his name, but not really heavy. Let's give him bigger arms though. And let's take away some of this. This a little bit lighter with that. There we go. We have Fat Phil as a Wampa. Zoom it out so you can see the whole thing. There it is. Fat Phil the Wampa. Looks beautiful. I personally think. Oh, I want to just fix this real quick. Perfect. I think it's great. We're going to save it. Boom. Done. There we go. And there is my costumed picture that I used as part of the inspiration for that picture. Let's try to do at least one more, right? Let's get one more in here. We got Marci. Let's see what we got. We'll finish up on a high note. We don't want to finish up on a we don't want to finish up on a Phil note. Definitely not. What time is this? 1:58. Okay, so we have Marci. Top 20 of your fleet arena. Top 10 is almost all executors. Top 20 is all executors. We're all over the place on assault battles, so we're an earlier game account. I'm working on Jedi Master Luke, New Bad Batch, Tarkin, and Scourge. Jedi Training Rey. Are dead set and continuing? Not dead set. I have time. How highly do you value efficiency versus fun? Not high. Maybe a 10 out of 7 fun farms I value a lot. 10 out of 7 fun farms you value a lot? The hard thing is when people value fun farms a lot, it becomes difficult for me to suggest things to them because I don't know what makes it fun for you, right? That's the whole thing. The queue right now, Henry, is probably next week, to be honest. The queue, we've worked through quite a bit of it today. So we have significantly lowered the queue. Let's see. Are there any favorite characters that I'd prioritize? Though next week is also Conquest and TB, so we never know. I try hard to make it go as fast as possible. Oh, it is you. Okay. So again, as I said, it's really tough when you have somebody who values fun farms, not because you're wrong for doing that, but because I don't know it's fun for you. You know, so it becomes tough. I can only really offer advice. Now, you did say that you're not 4 million yet. So I'm going to say somewhere between 2.5 and 3.25. Well, listen, man, I appreciate every single beer that somebody sends to me. So thank you. Like, seriously, I appreciate it. Thank you. Especially with the summer, man, the beers this summer have been awesome. I'm gonna do a quick video after this, but like it has helped with not, obviously I don't work during the summer, right? Because it's school. So it does help. Well, I'm gonna see your GP in just a second, right? Because if I look, no, not the game. If I go over here and then I pop this down, oh, 3.8. So a little bit higher than I expected. But I've been off pretty much all day today. So, that is what it is. You do have Executor, which is good. What are you hitting for your fleets? I know you're in 13th right now, but what do you average? Do you just average top 20 or do you average top 10 when it comes down to actually doing the missions, doing the battles? That's super, super important. 3.9 today. Admiral Piet. No GLs yet. All right. You're working on JML. You're very close to Jedi Knight Luke, which is nice. Little far from JML. Sometimes I hold top 10. Okay. I think you'll have an easier time holding top 10 once Executor is 5-star. A lot of it is locked behind that 5th star. Fleet compositions and fleet counters are not really in my wheelhouse. Bit Dynasty has great videos. Scribe has great videos. Jack One Best, I believe, has some really good videos on it too that might be able to help you out. If you're not coordinating with your Discord, if you go on our Discord and you type in !fleet Discord, no spaces, it's a 4-minute video on how to contact your fleet Discord. It's worth being in contact with them because it makes it easier for you to not get hit when it's around your fleet time. 5-star will definitely help you. I would look into those counter videos because with them being mostly executors, you should be able to hit that top 5 without too much input. Drunk Gungan, I like that. 600,000 right now. Raids. Your guild is doing about 50 million. So you're kind of where you should be, right? You should really be at like 1 million. That's not too much of a problem. Okay. Ground War will be shored up once you have Jedi Knight Luke. Military Might, perfect. Places of Power, it seems pretty good for what the top end of your roster looks like. Imperial, Forest Moon. Forest Moon seems pretty okay for where you are right now. Rebel Roundup seems pretty okay for where you are right now. Duel of the Fates, kind of cool that you have them at R7 already. Let's see, Order 66. So you're working on new Bad Batch for the raid. It looks like you're kind of getting there. Based on what your guild decides to do, I can't sorry, I just got a Discord message and it distracted me. I can't tell you. I would say once your Bad Batch is done, you're pretty much doing what your guild needs you to do, right? So at that 1 million, if they decide to go further, they want to go further, then that's a whole nother story. I am hesitant to tell you to do the Tarkin Scorch thing because I don't know if you'll have the modding depth for it, and getting 2 characters to R9 can be very expensive, especially with where you're at. So I would most likely just stay the course with your new Bad Batch and just make them your core team. They'll give you 1.2 million. And anything else you're doing there between possibly Hondo or Grand Moff Tarkin, it'll put you where your guild needs to be. So if you want to look, if you want to do Tarkin Scorch, go for it. It's just not something I want to like heavily recommend at someone as someone who I know you're probably going to have to buy a lot of materials. Acquired new Bad Batch, yeah. Um, it's probably old advice, and again, I said it earlier in the video. If you're doing if you're doing Tarkin Scorch, link that video to your guild and say, hey guys, like this is the way to do it. This is the smart way to go. The only reason I didn't want to suggest it is because it is expensive on the high end materials. But if you're fine doing it, Tarkin Scorch will get you so far ahead of what your guild needs you to do. If you're going for JML right now, which you are, you have Jedi Knight Luke already kind of up. You're in that neat little, you're still perfect. Then do it. Then do it, honestly. And I'm going to be honest, man, I don't know how many R9 materials you have. Duel of the Fates is not a priority for you right now. But if you can spare R9ing them, it'll pay you dividends within the year. But Tarkin Scorch is going to be more important. So I don't know how much you have, but if you have enough for 4 R9s, it will pay you dividends within the year. I would say, though, after Tarkin Scorch, Duel of the Fates hit or miss. You just happen to be in that really interesting, boring, depends on how you look at it, part of the game where you're doing Jedi Knight Luke. Jabba should happen right afterwards. And because you're still working on finishing Executor, I would probably do Leia right after that. Like, that should just be the trifecta of what you want to go for, because what's going to happen is your military might is... Oh, no, I'm looking at the wrong one right now. Your military might is already up there. Your ground war will be CT3. Your rebel roundup will be CT3. Your smuggler's run will be able to build you up strong modding. Jabba does well in a lot of the proving grounds. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Jedi Master Luke does well in a lot of the proving grounds. Again, not all of them, but a lot of them. Where are you here? I would strongly recommend Jabba before you do Leia. Very strongly. It is a very firm belief for me that Jedi Master Luke and Jabba should always be farmed in tandem. Always. Modding is disgustingly important, and Jabba's event is one of the highest return on investment events in the entire game. Now, if your goal is to go for profundity, I would stay within that whole quadra of 4 things. Jedi Master Luke, Jabba, Leia, then profundity. And that's 8 to 12 months of work right there. Right? That's your whole year. It's just how I would very strongly recommend doing it. Leia's amazing. She is so good. But so is Jabba. And a lot of people make this mistake when they compare GLs. They compare it to the top end. They compare it to Kyber 1 and they go, well, Jabba has fallen off the meta because blah, blah, blah. That's not the same as the meta that you're dealing with, right? Wherever you in Bronzium, you're dealing with an entirely different set of circumstances. So I would really, really, really strongly recommend doing it that way. New Bad Batch, if your guild is requiring it, do it. Tarkin Scorch will pay you dividends. But there's really not much more that I can offer you, because this is going to take you, again, 8 to 12 months, depending on packs and what you buy and what you sell. Sell, you can't sell things. What you buy and if you buy, and if you're free to play or whatever else. But it's going to take up a very considerable amount of time. So I think that that's the way for you to go right now, and it'll keep you where you need to be. Again, I would highly recommend, if your guild is telling you you have to do New Bad Batch, but you want to do Tarkin Scorch as well, I would strongly, strongly recommend 2x refreshing Scorch, sending that video that I keep talking about to your guild and saying, hey, this is a smarter way. Jedi Knight Calcastus is fine. That is a very quick detour. Those are G12s, right? And yeah, you'll get Seer and Jedi Knight Calcastus to R7. That's fine. You can farm that while you're farming Jabba. Remember, there's 3 layers to farming, and I say this all the time. There's your primary farm. Your primary farm is what you're relicking. There is your secondary farm. Your secondary farm is what you are gearing, and there is your tertiary farm, and your tertiary farm is what you're shard farming. And sometimes they blend a little bit. And you're like, oh, well, I'm still gearing this one character for Jedi Master Luke, and I'm shard farming for Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, but you want to build this funnel. I know. I very much know. I know the Cairo grind. I dealt with the Cairo grind for years. But you and Jedi Knight Cal Kestis will help with that. But you want to build this funnel where you're ready for the next farm when your first farm finishes. You don't want to be in a funnel where you're farming, where you're putting all of your energy towards one thing, because believe it or not, long term, it'll slow you down. Because the Chirotechs will come. You will get those. You might slow yourself down by like a week, right? You will get those. Okay, we look at it. Let's see. You're doing 3x refreshes a day, right? I'm going to just do 360, and I think it's like 335 free energy. No, I think it's 735 is your free energy for a day if you're buying the packs. Okay, and that is by 10, that's 73 battles times 0.225. So that's 16 Kairos a day. That's about 115 a week. So that's 2 gear pieces a week. Times 4, 460, 50. That's 9 gear pieces in a month. It seems like a huge deal. It is, and it isn't at the same time. Like I said, I think, and you don't have to shard farm. You're not shard farming everything, right? So you're not going, all right, I'm gearing this and I'm shard farming 8 things. You're going to say, hey, I have these 3 characters coming up. I'm going to do 1 set of battles on them a day. So 5 battles a day on 3 characters. 1 of them is a fleet farm. 2 of them are normal farm. The rest of your energy can go towards Kairos. But just make sure you're setting up your farms for the next thing so that you're not constantly stuck going, hey, I'm trapped. If the look, you said in your thing here, like you also want to work on some of your favorite characters. All I can do is tell you the efficient way to do things. That's all I can do. It's up to you to choose how you're going to put the fun things in there. So if you're like, hey, Egnards' path is this. The cool thing is you can say, you know what? I want to throw this thing in here because that's fun. I want to throw that thing in over there, right? I want to do 1 major farm, 1 little fun farm. 1 major farm, 1 little fun farm. 1 major farm, 1 little fun farm. That's up to you because you're the one in charge of the account. I can only say, hey, this is the smart way to do things. If that all makes sense. Am I reading the wrong one? I might be reading the wrong thing. Yeah, it says, how highly do you value efficiency versus fun farms? Oh, I didn't read this not. Not high, maybe a 10 out of 7. But then it says fun farms I value a lot. See, right here. Look at that. How high do you value efficiency? Not high. Maybe 10 out of 7. Fun farms I value a lot. But again, I'm just giving you the path that is like, hey, this is what makes sense to me. And now it's your job to say, you know what? I'm going to alter that path to what works for me. I don't know what 10 out of 7 is, Asher, man. Well, again, it's totally, your farms are totally up to you. Your your account is totally up to you. It doesn't actually really matter what you said here. What matters is, hey, I've given you the efficient path. And if you have things that you want to do in the middle, you can totally do those things in the middle. That's completely fine. Will it slow down certain things? Sure. But will you have more fun or enjoy it? Also sure. Okay. That said, we are nearing the end. I have a movie to go to. I want to make pancakes today before we go to the movie. Can he 2-1 10 push-ups? Oh my goodness. The berm is doing push-ups for subs. Yes, I give great advice, but like, of course, you have to like choose your own path. So what I'm saying is like, here's my path. Work in what you want to work in as you want to, and that's totally cool. I'm not against that. We are gonna raid out to the berm. I hope that everybody hits the follow button on him because I think he will do push-ups, and I just want to see him do push-ups. I hope everybody has a great Labor Day, and I will see you guys for brunch on Sunday. Oh, that doesn't work when I do it on multi-stream. Silly me. Peace out, guys and gals.